first they spoke about, for those who came in late a little bit, first they spoke about the liability for tardive dyskinesia and FGAs, the historical literature on the subject, and then they presented a study in which they came up with this fairly convincing, in a fairly convincing way that there was hardly any difference between SGAs and FGAs as far as the liability for TD goes. And he has, I think, fairly comprehensively reviewed the field and come up with this point. One more point, one point that I already made, that perhaps the neurological substrate of schizophrenia itself predisposes a person to movement disorders. This is shown. Second is the off-label prescription of antipsychotics, particularly SGAs, and which a lot of pharmaceutical companies are pushing now for somatization, anxiety, various other off-label prescriptions. I think the liability for tardive dyskinesia has very important implications for that. I personally remember one patient, I'll never forget that patient in fact. He had a mixed anxiety depressive type of illness, probably associating with somatization, which I'm not sure what was the initial picture. He went to a psychiatrist in a top institute in our country, and they gave him 5 mg of esketamine. And he developed such a ghastly multiple tardive dyskinesia. It was so disabling, and he was a driver, so he lost his job and virtually ruined his life. So that's when I've seen a lot of people prescribing antipsychotics off-label for indications other than psychosis, and it scared me off that forever. I mean, I'll never forget that. So I think it's something that we need to remember, that SGAs, we all have this mental picture that they don't produce TD. We don't see TD anymore. I think it's a very good thing that you brought this up. Now I'd like to